Hey everyone, welcome to our webinar today. Our last webinar covered the basics of estimating lighting controls, and we got some feedback from some of our attendees and at that webinar, and they asked to see more examples and get more tips. We did a bit more of a summary last time, so Brian and I put our heads together, or maybe Brian did most of the work, and he put together some great examples for you today. So thank you for joining us. And today's topic is part 2 of last month's how to estimate lighting control systems for commercial electrical projects. And I wanted to point out that there's a chat on the right. If you're logged into YouTube, you can use that to ask questions or chat. And there's a form below this live video that you can click on, a link to it, to submit a question if you're not logged in or you just feel like being more anonymous. And so I think that covers it. Did I forget anything, Brian?
I think we're ready to go.
All right. Well, I'll hand it over to Brian to get started.
Alrighty. Good morning, everyone, or in some cases, good afternoon. As Derek said, this part 2 is kind of a follow-up to the initial lighting control webinar because it was more conceptual and not theory so much, but just information about lighting control. And we had requests to do some more. I think we did only one example in the actual webinar. So today I'm going to take you through a bunch of examples of how to take off different types of lighting control items in assemblies in EBM. So we'll roll here. So these are the 9 examples we're going to go through here today. We're going to start with lighting control panels. We're also going to talk about whether you want the program to put a price in for the lighting controls or whether you're going to get a quote. And then we'll go through all the other examples of these different types of lighting control assemblies you would take off during an estimate. So lighting control panels are typically going to be something you get a quote on. And that's the first option you have to decide when you're taking off an item in EBM is whether you want the program to put a price on the lighting control or if you want the program to set it aside as an item that you're going to get a quote on. So the lighting control panels are in EBM are always going to be quoted. So let me show you where you find those. So those are under other takeoff and they're under miscellaneous. And they're down here under miscellaneous again. And you'll see lighting control panels. So it's a little bit of a complicated route to get here. But when you get here, again, it's under miscellaneous items. And there'll be a category for lighting control panels. And then you just pick the appropriate size. So I'll just put one in for now. And I'm going to go back. So basically lighting control panels you can kind of think is just a regular like regular panels, as far as the amount of labor that you would put into it. It depends on the size and the number of circuits, just like it would if you're taking off a power panel or a lighting panel for the regular part of your takeoff. So again, when we go to the next examples, you're going to see there's an option to either have the program put a price in or get a quote. So let me show you where that appears in EBM. So basically all of your occupancy sensors and lighting controls are going to be under the device part of the program because that's what they are, devices. And we're going to do most of the examples here today in Quick Branch. So there's a folder here for occupancy sensors. Oh, what is it? 6 categories down from the top level. And this is where you choose priced or quoted. Now there's a lot more examples in quoted. And typically, again, if you're doing any kind of a lighting control system, you're going to get a quote on all the components from a local supplier. So I'm going to go to quoted. And then at the end, we can generate a report that you can send off to your suppliers telling them all the items you need quoted, the quantities, and all the details. So our first example was just a basic occupancy sensor, motion sensor, the kind you would see either on in place of just a lighting switch. So let me just flip back there again. So I'm going to do it from the quoted category. And this first category here is wall occupancy sensors, or wall occupancy and vacancy sensors. And I'm just going to do a basic wall switch assembly. Now at this point, we have to know what kind of wiring we're going to use for the occupancy sensor. So the best place to get that is the lighting control diagram, the riser diagram, if you will, for the lighting control. Now this is just a typical example. It's the same one we used in the last webinar. And if we find, here's some ceiling mounted occupancy sensors. Let's find a wall one. I'm pretty sure there's one on here somewhere.
Where's Waldo? Where is it?
There's the ceiling mounted ones.
Is it cropped off?
No, I don't think so. There's a power supply here that's going to need line voltage. And I don't know if there's a power pack here.
I don't see any.
Okay. Well, let's just assume for now that we're going to use line voltage to the occupancy sensor. It could be Cat 5, it could be even low voltage. But in this case, let's assume it's just a standard, like you see in a restroom or a small storage area, and that would typically need line voltage. So up here at the top, we can either pick cable or conduit. I'm going to go to cable, and I'm just going to use 12-2 MC cable. And then up above here, I've already selected the automatic wall switch assembly. So I'm going to put in 10 of those, and I'm going to hit F2 takeoff. So you'll see in the audit trail, it gives you all the parts, the box, the plaster ring, gives you the wall device. Now you can see that's a quoted item. Then it gives us 20 feet of MC cable, whatever footage you want for each of those occupancy sensors. Okay. Again, those might be wired with line voltage, Ethernet, or even low voltage. Now, power packs are always going to need line voltage because you got to get the power, you get your line voltage to the power pack. And again, on the lighting control diagram, you can see here, power pack, and that's fed with line voltage. I don't know how well you can see that, but that little delta 3 tells you up here at the top left that that's line voltage. Delta 2 is Cat 5, and delta 1 is 18 gauge or low voltage wire. So the power packs are definitely going to need line voltage. So I'll flip back to the EBM screen. So the power packs are in a different folder here. They're down at the bottom. There's a power pack. And again, we could use MC cable or conduit. We'll just leave it on MC cable to keep it simple. And there's the power pack. So let's say we've got 10 of those. So next on our list is a controlled receptacle. So again, typically those are going to need either, again, line voltage or, looking for my notes here, I should have had that, sorry. Or low voltage, but let's assume we're going to get line voltage to the receptacle, the controlled receptacle. And those are basically like occupancy sensors. You know, they sense motion and then they turn off the plug. A lot of these controlled receptacles have one that's always hot and one that's controlled. That's what this little symbol is here. On this little graphic here, both of the plugs on the duplex are controlled. So we're going to go back to EBM. Now those are actually under the regular wiring devices. So we're going to go to receptacles, flush and wood or metal stud, and we'll just go to duplex. And you'll see the third to the last one is a controlled receptacle. So we're going to select that. We'll say we've got 20 of those. And we'll hit F2 takeoff. Okay, so next on our list is LED dimming fixtures. So in EBM, again, you can take off the luminary cable with your fixtures. So I'm going to go to the fixture takeoff for that. And I'll just create a fixture A real quickly. It's going to be a 2x4 LED lay-in. Now, to get the luminary cable here, you have to go to this little tab that says Conduit Wire and Cable. And then when we go to Cable, we've got the same list you saw in the quick branch takeoff. And right here is the 12-2 luminary cable with the 16 gauge low voltage for dimming. And let's say I want 20 feet for each of those, and I want 20 of those fixtures. Yeah, a few more examples here. Okay, so a PIR, or a passive infrared sensor, is just another type of device. So let's go look at our lighting control diagram and see if we've got one of those. Let's see, ceiling mounted, I see power supply, um, power pack, occupancy sensor. I apologize. I thought this lighting control diagram had a few more good examples. So let's assume again we're going to need, let's do this with Cat 5e. So we're going to go back to EBM and back to Quick Branch. And we're going to go to the occupancy sensors. And we're going to stay in the quoted category. And we're going to go to wall and occupancy sensors. And then the PIR ones are passive infrared would be right here, either one button or two. I think in that example it was a 2-button one, but we'll pick the 1-button one for now. Let's say we've got 10 of those. So here's another little option you might want to consider. A lot of the time they specify the actual model or catalog number that they want you to use. And if you want that to be in the report that you send off to your supplier, all you have to do is right click down here on the audit trail and hit edit. And then in the description, you can put the actual part number. I'm going to put watt stopper dash 250 dash W. So when I show you the report in a few minutes that you send off to your supplier, that catalog number will be on there. Again, that's just an option. You don't have to do that. So you'll see now in the audit trail, you've got that catalog number. And when I print out the report that goes to my vendors, it'll have the catalog number. I think we've got just a couple more things. The room controllers. Again, that's probably going to be Cat 5e that we're going to need for that. So we're going to go to the quick device or quick branch in EBM. There's actually a folder for room controllers. And then basically we just need to tell it how many relays are in there. Let's go to a 4 relay. And we're going to put in 4 of these, but we're going to up the footage. We're going to change the type of wire. Going to go down to Cat 5e. And I'm going to put in 40 feet. Take off. And then we've got one more option, which is kind of a no-brainer. It's an easy one because the wireless systems don't need wire. They just need they come with a battery, and then they talk to the system through the Wi-Fi. So when you're taking off one of those again, we can do that in Quick Branch again, but we don't need wire. So when you go to wireless, you can do it ceiling mounted, wall mounted. Let's put in 4 of those. But again, we don't need any wire, so I'll just set that to 0. And then when we hit takeoff, you could also take that off through device assemblies, which doesn't prompt you to put any wiring in. We'll take that off. Okay. I think that's about it for our examples. I guess we need to see. Go ahead.
Sorry. I was just going to say any general tips. You may have already kind of introduced them. I know one thing you had told me is that it's not that, I don't know, complicated is not the right word, but it's.
Yeah, you just
You
need to really figure out what kind of wiring each device needs. And
Mhm.
if it's not spelled out in the notes in the drawing, or then you can, or the lighting control diagram, then you just have to use your best judgment. But most of these devices either require low voltage wire or Cat 5e or power, just like if you were powering a fixture or a switch.
Right.
That report I
Mhm.
mentioned that you can send off to your suppliers is under reports and it's under quoted material. I'm going to go down here where it says quote report. I'm going to do just the lighting control. Oh, it's not letting me select that off. Let's see.
Right click.
Nope.
Hmm. Weird.
Okay. We'll just do all of it for now. We'll hit OK. There we go. So here's all your lighting control items. You can see this next to last one has the passive infrared wall switch that I put the catalog number in, and the rest of it is just count your lighting control panel and the count on all your switches and power packs and wall-mounted sensors, and then again, typically they'd give you a quote based on your counts and based on the specifications in the job. Okay. No questions? Have we got people in the session? It's not very talkative today.
Yeah, we do. I think your examples were just really straightforward.
Yeah, they are pretty straightforward. It's just a matter of figuring out how you're going to wire the device and then finding it in EBM. So there's really, again, most of the wiring devices are going to be under either quick branch or device assemblies. And if you want to include the wiring with the device, you would go to the occupancy sensors and pick either priced or quoted. That's going to give you an assembly for the device and the box that goes with it. And then up at the top here, you can either do cable or conduit wire. Now you can also take off the cable and the conduit separately, just like you would any other part of the takeoff. If you go to cable, up at the top here, you've got the assemblies for the different types of cable in the system. You got low voltage wire down here, Cat 5e. A little further up, we've got the luminary cable, and then all the typical sizes of MC cable. When you're in the branch takeoff, you can put the wire in the conduit. So instead of THHN stranded, you can go down here to let's see where the low voltage is. There's Cat 5e. There's low voltage wire. We'll do Cat 5e, and you can tell it you need, one Cat 5e with in the 3/4 inch conduit. You could also put power in there too if you want to do them simultaneously. You could put power and Cat 5 in the same conduit.
We have one comment. Better Mike asked, "Where are people buying 4 square deep bracket boxes for $1.90 each?" LOL.
I don't know. That comes from Epic. I guess we need to check it. I
Or
haven't
maybe that,
heard that
right.
was a. I know prices have gone up a lot. I haven't heard that those are out of line.
Well, it could be certain regions. That's one of the tough parts about pricing.
Yeah.
But we'll take a look at that. And maybe Brian Software doesn't have the latest pricing from our Epic pricing service. All right, let me check. No questions at this time, but if anybody wants to ask a question, there's a link under this video to a web form that you can submit a question, or just chat if you're logged into YouTube. But it doesn't necessarily have to be about lighting controls. If you had some other question about our training that we offer, and or maybe just our software. Now would be a good time.
Finish up the PowerPoint here.
Yeah, probably. Maybe the questions will come in towards the end. All right. Well, so first I wanted to mention that we've been growing our YouTube channel. We continue to add content and material to like training material to our YouTube channel and trying to make it useful for both our customers and those maybe considering getting started in electrical estimating. So be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel so you get email notices when we post a new video. And what else did I have about YouTube? I think that's about it. Oh, you know what? We did, Brian and I worked with our marketing team to create a new product tour for our electrical bid manager software, and also a little 90-second clip kind of advertising our estimating software. So you'll find that on our channel now as well. This is a screenshot that we're looking at here.
As far as training, if you don't know, we also offer virtual classes. We have 3 different classes: an introductory class, an advanced class, and what we call a lab class, where you actually take off a job from beginning to end. And then you can also do individual training, one-on-one online. And we're also doing on-site training, where I come out to your office and work with you, with your entire group or whoever needs training. We have done a few regional in-person classes over the last couple of months. We'll probably have some more scheduled maybe in the late summer or early fall. So that's an option too. You might want to look on our website when we have dates for the in-person classroom training. That'll be on our website. And then if you have questions about any of the other stuff, you can call in and we'll tell you what the schedule and what the costs and the content are for those classes.
Yeah, in fact, we have some online training classes coming up in June. On June 10th is the first course, and then the second course is a couple weeks later on June 24th. I just posted a link to it. And Badger Mike mentioned that the mud rings are more too.
Yep.
In
it would make sense
Arizona.
if the boxes are more, the mud rings are the same kind of product, part of the same family of products, if you will.
Yep. Let me see. Do we have anything else to cover? We went over the training. For anyone that doesn't know, we have our electrical bid manager integrates with PlanSwift, which directly integrates for plan takeoff, and we have our Epic pricing service that has over 2 million electrical products that we track pricing on, and we keep them updated so that you can sync that with your electrical bid manager. Or we also have our time and material billing manager software for billing service work, and Epic also updates the pricing in the built-in database of electrical materials. Dang, I had one more thing I wanted to mention about all of that. Oh, in our Epic, we also offer the net pricer connection with our Epic pricing software now, and you can connect directly with your electrical supplier and pull pricing right into electrical bid manager to get instant pricing, your pricing from your local supplier. So give us a shout, give us a call or email or whatever if you have any questions about that. So I think we can wrap it up. I don't have any questions. Nope, we're good.
All right.
So thank you everybody for joining us today.
Thank you, and let us know if you have any further questions or need
ideas
help.
Ideas for future webinars.
Yep.
Yeah,
that'd be good too.
We love feedback. Constructive, good, all the above.
All righty.
See you next time.
Thanks.